This right here is why it pays off to pay attention to your surroundings, keep your eyes peeled, and keep your head on a swivel, because you never know what you'll find just off the side of the road. Oh, what do we have here? It looks like a little roadside find. I drove by this. Definitely noticed something here off the side of the road. Decided to turn around and to check it out. So first off, welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning in to check out this little roadside find. I'm literally showing this to you as I see it for myself. I don't know anything about it. It's in coal country here down near the Mahanoy City area. And there's definitely some ruins here. So come along with me and maybe you can help me identify what this actually is. First thing I'm noticing is not only concrete, but actually some braided cable inside of there. I'm not sure if it was used as rebar or anchoring. You can see it. Probably maybe 1 inch thick, 3/4 of an inch thick braided cable. And here's a support of sorts. A couple anchor bolts coming out of it. And a much larger one here as well. What's really piquing my interest is in the background. There's something going on back there, which we're going to get to in just a few moments. And up here we got a couple iron pieces coming out of the ground. So not real big, it's not really tall, but long. Probably about 15 feet in length. That one's obviously a little bit taller. This one's just long, so it appears that something was resting on top of it. And there's a lot of thorny growth here, so I'm getting all hung up and captured. Let go. Ugh. But as mentioned, behind this we got something more substantial. A little bit of a ravine here, but that first glance, I don't have any idea what that is, but there's rows of them. It's open in the middle, and I see lots of nature's carpet. Let me safely get over there, and we'll take a closer look. And I found my passage, which should lead us right over here. Whoa! It's actually much deeper than I thought. So I'm standing on one of these columns here, if you want to call it a column, or a section of row, and it goes all the way off at a distance. I'd say this is probably between 30 and 50 feet in length from end to end. I haven't the slightest idea what this is, but something significant was taking place back here to have all this. There's a lot of concrete and a combination of stacked stone as well on the lower sections. I'm not sure if water was in here or if something was on top and got dumped. Before we go any further, I'm going to set you guys down. I'm going to walk down there and show you just how deep that is and how big those walls are compared to me. If you guys can still hear me, it's actually significantly colder down here, at least 10 degrees colder. I can see my breath down here where I couldn't up there. Lots of ice down here, and these are pretty tall walls. And as I bring you guys down, you're going to see a combination of stone and concrete on top of it, but this is too cool. So come on down, let's check it out together. We got evidence of an animal living down there. So here we are. And you can see where the two different layers do meet. Here up is concrete. Below this, that's stacked stone. And look at this. This is all encased in ice. So it's stone, it's a nature's carpet, and a thick layer of ice encasing it. Looks like there's even coal in here too, embedded into it. Now there is a separation here. You can see it's big enough to stick my hand into. Now over here, in the very bottom, is the stone with concrete poured on top of it. Another big chunk of coal coming out of here. You see it, bigger than my hand. And right here is a smooth circular area. Looks like there may have been a post here, maybe for the mold, for the form to pour the concrete, or just something that was embedded in here for construction and eventually rotted away. But there is a definite clear cavity here. On the other side, much more substantial stones there. So what I'm wondering is if this is earlier construction and they built upon it in later years, or is that they just used what they had to make the bottom layer, and that was in construction plans to start with stone, put concrete on top of it. Cutaway section, and that's some silt material, culm. It's all like processed coal, fine powder and material. And again, another cavity here. About this, a little bit bigger than the thickness of a soda can. There's a tire down there. There's actually a wooden tie, and whatever that is. There's a TV, part of it, a couch or a mattress here. Looks like some metal rebar coming out and some more of those cavities. So whatever this is, I don't have any idea. I'm not any closer to figuring out what it was for, but this is just one of them. There's multiple rows like this, so let's get over and check out the rest of them. On top of the second layer here, row, wall, that's where we just walked through. Pretty deep. Certain areas are deeper than others. It's obviously partially filled in with material. Over here, this one's much more narrower and not as deep that I could tell, but there's definite cutaway from where we saw that culm and silt material. So let's get to the other section over here and check it out. But I just want to point out, nature is certainly doing its best to reclaim, because this wall in particular is about 90% covered in nature's carpet. In the distance there is an active set of railroad tracks, so that's maybe 50 to 60 feet away, maybe more. So here's that cutaway section. It's intentionally open here, and what I'm standing on is what you see here, the culm and silt material. And it's looking down where we were earlier, and where we started, where those walls are, those supports near the roadway are right there. So again, just trying to show you proximity to everything here. Now over here we have a pretty deep pit, probably as deep as the other side that we just showed you right over there. I'm actually noticing some more rather interesting things. We definitely need to get down there, but this is substantially lower and deeper. And also, oh, I'm glad I found this. So what I was mentioning earlier, I'm going to show you when we get down there, is there was those soda can cavities did have wood in them, because one of them right there still has a piece of timber in them. Man, this is so baffling, I guess is the best way to put it. I am really perplexed. There's so many things running through my head as to what this can be, because I don't know if something was situated on top of here. One thing that crossed my mind, but I don't think it's accurate, is that this resembles like an ash pit for railroads, for locomotives. Some train yards and other areas have something similar where it's walls and a pit, rails on top. The locomotive would come on top, empty its ash pan into the ash pit. This is far too big for that. It makes me wonder if water was going through here for something, or if this was a holding area for something, for coal maybe, like storage. I don't know if something was built on top of here. It's very intriguing to say the least, but let's get down there now and show you what that is. This area is broken off. It's just kind of laying upon each other. Oh, that's not going to hold. Right here you can see, it looks like a piece of iron right through the middle as a type of support or rebar. One on this side too. And there's one sticking out here, so it's like early forms of concrete support, the rebar. So now coming down here, it is significantly deeper and lower. Oh, fair warning, there is a dead animal here. If you don't want to look away now, and I'll tell you when to look back. There's unfortunately a little dead bird right there. Alright, safe to look again. So I am standing much lower than the rest of the landscape, at least in this section. There is a wall right here. So there's an upper layer. And behind me, the material is just up higher. So there's a more than a definite, there is a depression here, a hole or a cavity. But as to what its use is for, no idea. It is kind of undercut there. Tons of cold air coming out. Not really a breeze, but you could see it is significantly colder. I mean, the snow does have something to do with it, but just being down lower, it's a lot colder. And this is not very stable. It is eroding away. The wall itself is intact, looks to be in really good condition. And over here is what I was explaining, and I'm glad I found this, because there are these cavities, these circular impressions where wood used to be. So again, I don't know if that was part of the construction of what was here, or if that was a form or a mold for the concrete. That I can't tell, but you could tell that it's not really surviving too well. It is getting eaten away by the elements. And this one right here is pretty much completely empty. Now this one's not circular, this is rectangle, but still the same premise. And it looks like here it is right here. It's green. So that would have been right in there. I was grabbing onto this tree. I was wondering why it felt so funny. There's all those little mushrooms, I think they are, growing on it. So the next finding, because this just keeps getting more and more interesting, is look at narrow gauge railroad tracks coming out as support or rebar. Very common that I've seen train tracks use both narrow gauge and standard size, standard gauge. But there is a multitude of them coming out. And it looks like they were cut. So Did they go all the way across? Don't know. Oh, what's this? Looks like maybe an old lunch pail. There's something else there, but it's stuck. It's been sitting there for a long time. I wonder if that's an old lunch pail. How cool would that be if it was? If it's something else that you guys recognize, feel free to correct me, but it does resemble an old lunch pail, at least the bottom half of it. Some more track right there. And look at that. That goes all the way through. I can actually show you because I'm going to stick my foot. And there you can see. So it looks like maybe wood would have been there. Looking over here, there is more remnants of a stone wall that's collapsed. And just mounds of material, including in the back, a big, what's a big? A big waste rock pile, or tailings pile right there. Not significantly huge, but big enough that I could see it. There's also some pink tape over there too. Look like maybe they're doing some survey work. So one thing I have to point out is how nature adapts. And I'm going to show you an example right here with this tree. Looks like a normal tree from here, but it's actually taking advantage of the wall and the separation above it, because it's implanted here on the side of this wall and the roots are coming down right in front of it. And it's a perfectly healthy growing tree. There's even roots going off that way as well. So from here, it transformed itself and went as it needed to, even in that direction as well. So roots going in all different directions with this big substantial one coming down. But as you look up, it looks like a perfectly normal, healthy tree. Came on the back side here and I wanted to show you what the wall looks like. It is down at a pretty good angle. It just collapsed, broke away, and it's just resting there. And some various buckets back here. But you can also see where there is more use of narrow gauge rail. Sticking out right there, encased in concrete there, and so on and so forth. And another rather undercut area, but I wouldn't even crawl under there because you could see it's broken away, and that is separating. It's cracked there and over there. So although it's probably not going to go anywhere today, it eventually will look like that where it's dropped all the way down. And it's actually resting in part of another stone wall. Alright everyone, this is my random, very random roadside find. As I mentioned, driving by, saw it, turned around, decided, you know what, I think you guys would want to check it out as well, and here we are. And this turned out to be something rather fascinating, baffling, interesting, bizarre. Substitute your own word if you want to, but I'm glad I got to check it out. It is a piece of history, and hopefully through the viewers who do comment down below, you could help identify as to what we're looking at. I don't want to say one way or the other. I gave you my speculation. I could be close, I could be far off, I don't know. Regardless, even if we don't identify it, this is something that we haven't seen before and just sitting off the side of the road And in the wintertime, it's perfectly visible. But if we were here in the summer, we probably wouldn't have even seen this. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give one of these. Otherwise, to see more random adventures, check the playlist down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.